Two-a-day segments with Big Z Sports back once again, and we have descended on the Twin Cities here in Uricksville as it is the Claymont Mustangs and Shannon Thomas. A lot of eyes on this Claymont Mustangs team trying to look to right the ship after a couple rougher years. You know, there's been moments of progress, but they're still trying to put it all together. And, you know, you bring back a former coach in Buddy White, that could be your solution. That could be your key.
Yeah, you know, Buddy White, he's legendary around here. He was a standout athlete for the Claymont Mustangs. Moved away. He's had success at other schools, and he wanted to come home. So it's going to be interesting to see what his coaching philosophy can do to these kids. Like you said, they've had a lot of talent here the last couple of years. They've been in some big games, and they would kind of let them slip away. And then games that you think that they were, you know, had a chance of winning, they weren't in those games at all. So it's going to be interesting to see what Coach White and his staff have in store.
Coach White's been doing this for a long time. It's kind of old school meets new school. We'll see how that blends together. We're very excited to see what Claymont can do. One of the biggest question marks that they've got, though, a lot of skill positions that they ended up graduating. Some, you know, names that Mustangs fans have seen over the past few years. No longer available, of course, so we'll have to see how they plug and play with that.
Yeah, they got a lot of young kids that's got a lot of playing time the last couple of years because of that. A lot of skilled players coming back. The question mark is going to be, can they get that offensive, defensive line to gel together to help those skilled positions?
Well, let's see how they're going to do that. We'll check in with Coach Buddy White and see what he has to say about his team's offseason. Big Z Sports back again with our two-a-day segments. This one brought to you by Ron's Heating and Cooling as we're in the Twin Cities here for the Claymont Mustangs. And featuring for the first time, we got Coach Buddy White for those Claymont Mustangs. Coach, welcome first and foremost. I know you're very excited to get the season started.
I can't wait for it. You know, I don't know what to expect, but I can tell you this, these kids are hungry. They're working really hard. And they're ready to get after it.
Now, for you, this is kind of almost coming back home kind of moment for you, so I know it has to feel good to be here at Claymont.
Well, it literally is coming back home. I grew up on the south side of Denison, and, once I got my bike, Denison, Uricksville was my playground. I used to ride it all the way up to Dover and Philly. And like I said, I just feel so at home here. Everybody knows me. I'm just surprised there's so many people that stayed and didn't leave. You know, they're still here. I'm coaching their grandkids now and, you know, their nephews. You know how it works.
Now, something that we want to definitely talk about with Claymont football, you know, there's been some bright moments over the past few years, but there's been a lot to work on and a lot to build from. What have you guys been talking about, kind of coming in, bringing in maybe a new culture, so to speak?
Well, you know, you hit it right on the head. You know, it's a losing culture. You know, they've last 5 years, they're 8-37. So 8 wins in 5 years, that's less than 2 wins a year. And I can tell you, one time when I was at Reynoldsburg, we went 3-8, 3-7, and that was the longest season. So I can imagine what these kids have been through, you know. But, you know, I just want them to make sure that, you know, they believe in what we're teaching them. You know, we work real hard on tackling. They averaged over 30 missed tackles a game last year. So we're really working hard on that. And, you know, when adversity hits, I just hope that the kids stick with what we've been teaching them and not resort back to playing the kind of football that creates losses.
Now, I want to definitely talk about the defensive side of the ball, but we'll start off offensively. You guys lost some playmakers, some weapons that you had last season,
Sure
but
we did.
I know there was a ton of kids who got a lot of varsity time last season as well. So how much do you think that'll roll over and help this season?
Oh, man, you know, having that's gold, you know, because the younger kids understand varsity speed, you know, and you can't get, you know, you don't get varsity speed out here in practice. Once you start playing, and those kids played in a lot of games, and we're very competitive in a lot of those games. And I just believe that they're going to get after it. You know, playing last year, I even thanked Coach Henry during the spring. I was talking to him. I said, man, I'm glad you played those young boys. That's going to help us out a lot. And we can tell, you know, you can tell when the experienced kids versus the kids that are first time out there.
Now, defensively, you already mentioned about the tackles, struggling with
Sure.
some missed tackles last season. What's been kind of the change in approach maybe, or what have you guys been trying to instill in them, I should say, to try to kind of polish that up?
Well, you know, it all comes down to execution. Because if we execute what we're doing, guys are in the place they're supposed to be, and then make the play, you know, we deal with the 3As, especially when it comes to defense, you know. You got to get them aligned right. You know, they got to learn their assignment. Then they got to bring the aggression. All right, we're still working on the assignment part. You know, the aggression will come. We got a little time left. But the kids are starting to pick up what we're trying to teach them, and I think they're going to make some plays. But we'll see. I'm just as excited to find out how we're going to be as you are.
Now, during this camp period, anybody that you've seen who's maybe sticking out a little bit, somebody who's kind of taken that maybe senior leadership type of role and maybe showing off on the field a little bit more and hustling maybe a little bit more?
Well, I tell you what, I got a good quarterback. Nolan does a real good job. He's a leader. He's one of my captains. He throws a good ball. He hits all the spaces and everything. And our line is coming together better and better. So as far as individuals, wow. We got a.
How much time do you got, Coach? You might have to run through everybody, right?
Hey, man, I'll tell you what, we got a little slot guy that he does a good job, especially whenever he has to run deep. Plus, when he gets the ball in the open field, it's fun putting it together, putting the kids in the right place where they can express themselves at the highest level of intensity.
Now, you've been doing this coaching thing for quite a while, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
A little while.
Whenever you come in here to this kind of environment, when it's two-a-days, it's hot, it's summer, the kids
Sure.
are thinking about going back to school. What is your way of kind of getting that little extra motivation to put in just that one extra rep in practice, or maybe just going a little bit harder on bench or when you're lifting? What do you tell them to try to get that extra out of them?
Well, I tell them everything that we're doing is getting ready for Harrison Central. And I said that they're a very good team. They're very well coached. And if we go out there sloppy, then, it could be a long night for us because they're that kind of team. They're going to be hard to stop. And obviously, we just keep preaching, stay the course. Stay the course. This is what we're doing. Keep doing it. When I tell them to lift weights, don't just lift weights. Lift with a purpose, And we run out here. We'll run sprints. I say run with a purpose. We're not running just to kill time in practice. Everything that we're doing is to try to get us ready.
Absolutely. New head coach for the Claymont Mustangs, Buddy White. Coach, thank you so much for your time, and we'll be seeing you here soon when the season gets started.
Okay, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you.
This two-a-day segment brought to you by Ron's Heating and Cooling. New head coach Buddy White with the Claymont Mustangs, and I know he is super excited to be back here, back home, like you said, Shannon. Kind of a homecoming for him. How great would it be to get some success for this Claymont team after some years of struggle? I know that he would be smiling. He would really be smiling if they were able to do that.
Yeah, you can just hear it in his voice. He's ready to go. Some of the things that he's teaching these kids, trying to get the best out of them here in camp to move forward into week one. And like you said, he's fired up to be back home.
Yeah, well, how could you not be, obviously, coming back to your alma mater? Well, that is it for another two-a-day segment here from Uricksville and from the Claymont Mustangs. This has been brought to you by Ron's Heating and Cooling. Big Z Sports will be back with another two-a-day segment at a high school near you soon.